Hey, John, I need to.
Oh, Steph.
I'll have to get my. I memorized it this time. You memorize it? Oh,
Very.
you did it.
Hope you got the right computer. Good. It's easy. Yeah, my dad was gonna say something. I'll speak. All right. Right. I told him.
No, not that one.
One's
One's underneath.
Got it?
There you go.
Grab that nameplate and give it to you
Yes.
in a minute. Are you
He goes from-
I am. Oh, good. Well, you won't because me. Yeah. And I'll replace it. I think Amy took care of that. We're not as rich as we are. Yeah,
Don't mind.
spent a lot of money tonight.
Watch out for my nose.
I need that.
Yeah.
I have to read every bit of it. I don't think I'm gonna have. Back to it.
That's good. Pay.
I'm glad.
That's for full credit.
Please take pictures. Yes. Now they're here. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah, it's happening. She's going to remove. That's what I thought she did. She thought that's it.
Good evening. Welcome to the Belton City Council meeting for Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. We're sure glad to see such a great crowd. Hope that some of y'all will come back in the future and join us again. It's unusual and we're proud that you're all here. Tonight, the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag will be given by Mayor Pro Tem David K. Lee. The Texas pledge will be given by Director of Communications Paul Romer, and Dan Kirkley will be giving us the invocation.
Join me in the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
O Lord God, maker of heaven and earth, you have brought us here tonight to do business for our community, for our neighbors, our friends, and our family. And I ask, Father, that in the process of this and understanding what community is under you, I would ask that all we say and do, the words of our mouths, the meditations of our hearts, and our thoughts and our words would be a sweet smelling sacrifice of praise to you and the love you demonstrated to us through our Jesus. Help us, Father, to be pure, to be kind and wise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda, believe it or not, is we are about to get paid. I think,
Thank you very
Some
much.
would say overpaid there.
Yeah.
true.
Congratulations on your annual payday. Now, if you'll focus your attention on the screen, get started.
Now here is your home. Ariel, listen to me. The whole world, it's a mess. Life under the sea is better than anything they got up there. Seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around you. Here on the ocean floor, different things around you. What more is you looking for under the sea? Under the sea, darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore, they work all day. Out in the sun, they slave away. While we be boating under the sea.
Mr. Rogers, we live in a world where we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say it's not my child, not my community, not my world, not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider these people heroes. You are Belton heroes. And in the words of Sebastian, the human world, it's a mess. Thank you for everything you do to make Belton a better place in which to live, work, and play. You are very much appreciated. And you'll know you have an envelope at your desk, and you're welcome to open it. There's your pay.
There's no dollar.
Yeah. It just jumped right off of there. It's crabs just like me.
Perfect.
Thank y'all for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you very much, Amy. I always look forward to seeing what new idea you can come up with every year. It's amazing to me that you can do this quality of work. Have quite a collection of these at home. They're too good to spend.
Absolutely.
At this time, we just do want to say a formal thank you once again to Dan Kirkley. For those of you who weren't here earlier, we had a nice presentation and said some really nice things about him, and we met every one of them. He's really been a great asset. As I said earlier, he's one of the people I feel is the conscience of the community and always leads from example, just as is in his prayer tonight. Dan, everyone on this area right here in the city we'll all miss you, but we'll know you're still around. If we need help, we know who to call. So again, thank you for your service.
Mayor, I do have one thing that I would like to present to Dan. You know, there's been a couple of times where Dan and Daniel have fought over something in the back. But I want to make sure that Dan.
My Oreo, you don't get mine. My belly.
I know this is double pay, but we're gonna let you take this on too.
Blessings, blessings. Dan, you're not done yet.
No.
Oh, I'm not?
No, you gotta help both get further. No, it's done. Okay.
He's done. That's it.
Bye, love you.
Bye.
See you in my.
Well, bye.
Happy trails. See you.
No, can't.
At this time, we will administer the oath of office to newly elected council members. City Attorney John Messer is going to do that. John and Dave.
Watch your head.
John has been elected to a three-year term ending May 2026, and Dave has been elected to a three-year term ending May 2026 as well.
Ready? My pleasure, as always, to swear in the councilman and, you know, Belton's a neat place. Both these guys' dads were mayor of this town. One of them thankfully is still here. And, Belton changes and grows, but this is what keeps us different. I really believe that. It's my honor. If you'll repeat after me, say your name or I say my name, be my honor to swear you in. I, John Messer, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of city council member of the city of Belton and the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations to both of them.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
At this time, we will reorganize the council, and as I think everyone here knows, I have chosen to not be involved in that and step down and spend a little more time with my beautiful, lovely wife there on the front row. So I've really enjoyed being your mayor for the past 2.5 years. It's been an honor for me. Something I would have never dreamed of 30 years ago, but it's been a great experience. We have the best city staff that we've ever had, and we have a great council. And it's been an honor to work with each and every one of you. And especially Sam and Amy and Michelle, the people that I interact with so often. They are truly a blessing. And as John just mentioned, these are the kind of things that make Belton special, is the quality of the people that we have. Even the birthday boy over there who opened up the new water tower yesterday, Matt, we appreciate your work on that. $3 million and 1 million gallons. If you haven't seen the water tower, go by and look. It's quite impressive. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to nominate someone to be mayor.
Move we nominate David K. Lee as mayor of Belton, Texas.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations?
David, accept. Figured I'd ask.
Move the nomination cease.
We have a motion and a second to elect David K. as mayor,
gonna change his
David
last
K.
name.
Lee as mayor. All those in favor, we have no other nominations, so you are it. Congratulations.
So that means I need to read the things behind the numbers now, right?
You do.
So, Wayne, thank you so much. When you joined us again, the second time after kind of traveling a little bit and you got to do all the COVID stuff and you've really done a great job. You had what COVID and then the snow bit or whatever that when all the water blew up, right? And so that was something else. So again, thank you for your service. It's always civics, government, what was the government teacher? You can't beat him.
Prize student, right?
Yeah, you can't beat
Maybe not at the
time.
It finally hits hook.
But having somebody with that context in the seat has been really good. So again, thank you for your service and your continued service and still serving on the council. So
Well, I appreciate you as Mayor Pro Tem. You've always been available when we needed you, and that goes a long way. So whatever I can do to support you in the next year, I'll certainly be glad to do that.
well, I guess we'll go to the next item. So the next part of reorganization is selecting the mayor pro tem. The chair will entertain a motion for mayor pro tem or nominations for.
I'll make a motion to nominate John Holmes.
Second. Motion and second to nominate John Holmes. Any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Craig's name, Craig Pearson.
Okay, we have two nominations, John and Craig. We will take these one at a time, so we will, by the order of nomination, we'll vote.
Mr. Mayor, I decline to serve.
Okay. All right. All right, well, that makes it easier.
That narrows down the choices.
Chair will entertain other nominations. All right, there being one nomination, they want to make a motion to cease the nominations.
I move nomination cease.
Okay, we have a motion to cease nomination. So, okay, so there being none other, John Holmes, how do we have it? John Holmes Senior. Is now our new mayor pro tem. Congratulations. It's really great. And that's one of the things that John was downstairs, John, not upstairs, John, was talking about is it's really special in this community where you get to serve with people that you've known your whole life. And for a lot of us, it's that have grown up here. It's really nice to be able to do that and see that. I'm reminded as the Covingtons are down there when I first was elected and my wife and two little kids are there. And so it's kind of neat to see people grow up in service. And so anyway, it's a great council. Thank you guys for donating your time. All right, so next item on our agenda is public comments. Citizens who desire to address the council on any matter may register to do so prior to the meeting. Forms are located, you got all that stuff. It's all in here. So if anyone has anything that they would like to say before the council, we have four. All right. Okay. So the first one I have on my list is Bill Holmes, maybe related to someone up here.
Watch it.
Councilman, I just want to take a couple of minutes to say thank you for serving. We have a great community and it's great because of people like yourself that interact with a wonderful staff. And it's not only the 2 meetings that you attend during the month, but the many boards and commissions and extracurricular kind of budget hearings and things like that serve where you serve that really kind of go unnoticed. So I just want to say, as a committee of one, thank you. And I also want to report that in my prior life, I was a financial advisor. And I'm going to advise you not to spend all of your earnings in one place.
Thank you.
Dad. Oh, we made it to that.
All right. So Bill Holmes being a former mayor, the number two on our list is another former mayor, Marion Grayson.
I just wanted to step up and say, thank you to Dan, who left already, but he did serve with a citizen's heart. I know y'all are all citizen servants. I wanted to be here as Wayne stepped down as mayor because Wayne's the reason I got on the council back in the day. And I was the one to encourage him to be mayor. So I'm sure Ann is quite glad that he isn't listening to me anymore. And then, and I wanted to congratulate Dave for being sitting up there because I'm real proud of you and for you to be here, especially since I served with your dad on the council, and I know you're going to be excellent. To Craig and David, proud of you for being the mayor. Finally get to take the next step up because you've been mayor pro tem for a while.
Yep.
So now you have the time. So congratulations. And John, mayor pro tem, and of course, all of you, thank you for everything you do. Nobody knows how thankless this job can be, but how much you accomplish. So for our community, thank you. Appreciate
Thanks, Marion. Next one I have listed here is Jill Decker. You don't mind giving us your name and address for the record.
I'm Jill Decker. I'm at 205 Decker Road, Belton. I addressed y'all at our last meeting regarding item 14. And I just want to comment to y'all, before you go to vote for this, I want you to seriously consider what this improvement of light industrial is going to do to the residents, farmland and homes in this area. One term I want you to look and see is inverse condemnation. And I just want you to understand what this is going to do to our property. Is there an engineering study? Has any engineering studies been done on this property to know what it's going to flood? Because I will tell you, the primary property that it's going to flood is mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person is Bonnie Conway. Also name and address for the record. Thank you.
My name is Bonnie Conway and I live at 583 Decker Road. The Deckers are my neighbors to the west. And I appreciate y'all allowing me to address the council again on this matter, on this rezoning change. I do want to go on record that I am not for or against it. My concerns are that the proper measures are put in place that will address soil erosion and the mitigation of water flow. I basically have concerns about protecting our property from another stormwater runoff, erosion, and sedimentation situation. This is an incident that severely impacted all of our properties before when similar situations occurred. The circumstances that currently have my concern are the clearing and grubbing of new industrial plots uphill from my home. The 51 acres we are speaking about has been cleared and grubbed with almost all trees dozed. And these are trees that I know personally have been there for over 50 years because my family bought that property that we live on back when I was 11. And that was a long time ago. The work site is clear in contrast to the surrounding property where there's still a lot of trees, flowers, and vegetation. There is nothing now on that property to absorb heavy rainfall, no erosion control or flood control instruments in or on the site anywhere, not even at the road entrances. I am all for Bell County and Belton to develop industrial sites. They share more of the taxation burden than I do. However, I have to admit, I do wish it was farther from my home. My question is, are we following stormwater pollution prevention laws at federal, state, and local levels? As the city of Belton includes on its drawings that are currently approved, the contractor will follow federal, state, and local laws in reference to sedimentation, runoff, and the environment. Secondly, are there any deviations filed with you as required by statute? Thirdly, does the planning group have a plan for stormwater control before the zoning change is made? Because I can assure you the proposed changes will definitely increase the probability of a flooding incident. From the previous plan for the residential community submitted to the city is highly evident that great care has been given to stormwater. But are you aware that there is a 34-foot drop across this site? Water velocities on this incline can be devastating. What I ask is not to be canceled, but to delay and make sure that the proper studies are in place and the measures that will be taken are going to be taken. We and my family and the rest of the neighbors try to be good stewards of the land that we have. It's not my intention to cost landowners, developers, the city, or the people of Belton of any opportunity for civilized progress. Thank you for allowing us. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Any other public comments? All right. There being none, we will now go to the next item on the agenda, which is a proclamation for National Salvation Army Week. I noticed some uniforms there, so I think we have some people. So I will come down and read this very lovely Oregon proclamation. Thanks for coming. I'm an engineer and I chose my profession so I didn't have to read or speak out loud very much. So I apologize for these big long words here. It's not my native speak. So, all right. So proclamation of the mayor. Whereas the Salvation Army's only business in this community of Belton, Texas, as everywhere, is still human business undertaken with joy for the family of humankind to the greater glory of God. And whereas through sound, innovative, and professional services, the Salvation Army serves the city of Belton, the people of Belton, Texas, with unshakable faith in all, no matter how desperate the situation, and views all people as people with possibilities. And whereas the Salvation Army, which was founded in Great Britain in 1865, acts on behalf of all residents of our community with neither salvation nor any condition prerequisite, nor expecting any thanks, yet nonetheless welcoming community support. And whereas 43.1 million Americans live in poverty, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, and the Salvation Army operates more than 7,500 centers across America on the front lines of providing social services for the hungry, destitute, and spiritually deplete. And whereas this week of celebration should bring awareness of the Salvation Army's mantra, doing the most good for those in need, and Christ's call to love thy neighbor as thyself. And whereas former President Dwight D. Eisenhower designated a Salvation Army Week in 1954, wherein he urged Americans to honor the organization and its principles as stalwart bulwarks for the protection of the spiritual and physical needs of our people. Now, therefore, I, David K. Lee, Mayor of the City of Belton, do hereby proclaim May 15th to the 21st, 2023, as National Salvation Army Week in the city of Belton, with all the other words, witness my hand, David Lee. So thank you very much. Yes. Whereas we finished that one, we will now go to the next two items is our consent agenda. Items 8, 9 under this section are considered to be routine by the city council and may be enacted in one motion. If discussion is desired by the council, any item may be removed from the consent agenda prior to voting at the request of any council member and be considered separately. So the chair will entertain a motion on the consent. I do need to read the item. I'm new at this. I'm sorry. Item number 8, I'll read these for good measure. Consider the minutes of the April 25th, 2023 City Council meeting. And item number 9, consider appointing Council Member Stephanie O'Banion to replace outgoing Council Member Dan Kirkley on the Hill Country Transit District Board of Directors.
I move we approve the consent agenda items 8 and 9 is presented.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any other discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, consent agenda passes unanimously. Item number 10, consider authorizing the city manager to enter into a professional services agreement with Covey Planning and Landscape Architect for design, bidding, and construction administration services for the Standpipe Park project. All right, birthday boy.
Allow me to be first with Mayor Lee and City Council. Thank you for being here. Able to present, yeah, it is the birthday, so just be kind with the words as we make our way through the presentation. Do have a couple of people in the audience I think, yeah, just want to make sure you all are aware of. We have Tyler Richburg with Covey, John Simsick back there with KPA, Assistant Director James Grant, and our recreation team over here in the corner as well. And conveniently, we also have our Parks Board Chair, Josh Pearson here in the crowd as well. So I know we're all excited about this kind of kicking off. Just quickly to review, in 2022, we applied. Y'all have probably heard the Standpipe Park being in its iteration for quite some time, but in terms of formally activating a plan to develop the park, we applied for the Texas Parks and Wildlife non-urban outdoor grant, which is the same one we just got for Heritage Park. So we put that together. Covey's team did a phenomenal job illustrating some of those site renderings. Joelle in the corner did a great job putting the application together. And so we got that in the spring of this year. We find out we've got it. We got $750,000 again. Another well-scored park grant for the city. With that, in 2023, also, council made the prudent move to allocate the matching grant on that, the $750,000. Some of that breakdown financially is in the staff report as to exactly where all the funds were to come from, but it's there, 750. So we got 1.5 plus out of TERS. There was allocated money for the rehabilitation of the standpipe itself, since that's not a grant funded eligible expense with it. So that's our monies. That's kind of where we're starting point on that. Because the mayor's first day, I knew he wanted to see this picture again. And if you remember, this was probably, Mary and you, I may have been presenting this to you at this, this was a while ago, and everyone made fun of why the dog's 6 foot tall, the fire hydrant in the back's like 10 foot. But anyway, let this be a lesson, Covey, that this is why you pay architects to do that for you. So yeah, I've grown a lot since those days. We're getting better. But anyway, so this is the site plan rendering that was submitted as part of the Texas Parks and Wildlife grant application. Really the key components there, the trail that runs throughout the neighborhood. We'd have of course, some lighting that would go along with that. Utilizing the historic standpipe to its maximum nature. We do intend to design it with lights. I think it was a talk not only of just some uplighting that highlights the actual feature, maybe also some cool LEDs on top that we could maybe change the colors to Crusader purple or to big red games, whatever you. So we're going to go through all of that. We have a playground that we're really excited about, wanting to do something really nice with that. Restroom, of course, parking, family pavilion, and the always needed open play, open space where you've seen it. We're right in the middle of soccer and baseball season. Every night you go around past the park, there's thousands literally between all of our parks just out there. So having those amenities and that available to them with it. The breakdown that you see right here, basically the cost of the services. This is kind of an all for one. I think it shows the direction we want to head it, which is we've got the funds. We want to go ahead and really pursue getting this done. This project, I think, is something we're all excited about. So this has everything in it, not just design and then coming back for bidding services and then coming back. This is just a package that will include the design, which is about 6 months worth of design. We expect that to be finished in October of this year. And then the bidding phase services would start in November, December. Hopefully we're coming to you in the first council meeting in January to award that. And we're starting in Q1 of 2024 at building the park. So that's kind of the breakdown. Covey, y'all are familiar. It's a division within KPA. So there'll still be some civil technical help and some things that John will put together, but the architecture standpoint, Tyler and his team will be taking the lead on this development of this project. So that's the standpipe proposal right before you. So our recommendation is that you recommend Sam to kind of execute into the professional services agreement. We get to work on it. So.
All right, thank you. So no public comments on this one. So any council comments, questions?
As a former Parks Board member, I think every year this came up saying, what can we do with this? And I think your initial picture to the design one is absolutely incredible.
That's the last
And,
time anyone's ever seen this.
And I'd also like to give a shout out to everybody involved in the grant, and,
Yeah.
for us to get 750, I think so many times since I was on Parks Board and 2 years in a row. And I'd like to think they're only throwing out one 750. I have no outside reference or bias, but for a town like us to get it is phenomenal. So.
I believe there was only 10 funded projects across the state, and this made the top 10. So,
That's great.
and again, you really you're competing with everybody. That's Houston's big cities, that's everyone. So,
Hopefully use that picture. That's a really nice.
yeah,
picture.
these are taken by the guy who just took your headshot. So,
Nice.
it's another common thread.
I move we approve agenda item number 10 as presented.
Second. We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? There being none, all those in favor of the service agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, thank you. Item 11 is consider authorizing the BEDC Executive Director to execute a contract for the sale of 6.831 acres in the Belton Business Park to Sensato LLC or assignees or signs. Cynthia.
Thank you,
floor is
Mayor,
yours.
council members. I'm not nearly as creative as Matt, so I have nothing that I've sketched up for you today. So bear with me on this presentation.
Go on.
Okay, so in your packet, you were provided with a contract for a Sensato LLC to purchase property from the Belton EDC. This is a slide that you've seen before in the past that just illustrates which sites we have available in the business park. What you will notice is, and I'm not sure if I can draw on this, but oh yeah. Okay, well, that's my next slide. That's okay. Yeah, so the Sensato site, I will zoom in now, is outlined in red, and that is not illustrated on my available properties map south of Digby Drive, because we have always felt like this particular tract goes with the building. The building has had different users in the past. It's a 6-acre tract, and we have worked hard to not, how do I say it, to not basically limit our existing industries from expanding. So 40,000 square foot building that the EDC built, later 20,000 square feet were added onto it, but we thought eventually that user would need additional space to expand. So that has happened today. The company currently occupying that building is Heritage Foods, and they are in need of additional space. And so Sensato has approached us about purchasing the 6-acre tract so that they can expand the Heritage Foods facility. To date, there is not a detailed site plan for how that lot will be used. They will use their feasibility period to work with the companies to determine the best way to build out and utilize that tract. The terms of the contract, essentially, we've negotiated $1 per square foot for that property, $5,000 earnest money, and then a $500 option fee. They have a 150-day contingency period. We have done that on occasion. We prefer a 90-day, but on occasion we have entertained a 150-day contingency period. And again, we were not actively marketing the site in hopes that we could facilitate a local expansion. So we're comfortable with the contingency period for this contract. We will pay a 3% commission at closing, and the contract is contingent upon city council approval and a repurchase agreement. Typically, when we sell land in the business park, we like some language that says that you have to begin construction within, this will say within 2 years, or the EDC has the option to purchase the property back. And so within the next 30 days, we'll be working on the repurchase agreement to ensure that if for some reason the development doesn't occur, we have the option to purchase the property back. The board of directors approved the contract as presented on May 2nd, and we're asking for the council's consideration and approval of the sale of property. happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Cynthia. Any questions, comments?
I think the expansion sounds exciting. Certainly means, hopefully means new jobs and additional contribution to the city. So I'd like to make a motion to approve item number 11 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the sale of this to Sensado. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Okay.
I
Right.
probably said it different.
All right. All right. So any other discussion before we vote?
Mhm.
There being no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Again, passes unanimously. All right. Now we've got a split. So we're going to move, and I'll read this. We're going to go into executive session, and then we will then be, after the executive session, been reconvening for 2 more items that are tied to this executive session. So the council now go into executive session pursuant to the provision of the Open Meetings Law, Chapter 551, Government Code, Vernon's Texas Codes annotated, in accordance with the authority contained in Section 551.072, deliberation regarding real estate, and Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. We will recess here and reconvene next door in the right room. Smith room. And then, Smith
And
room.
Mr. Mayor, I must recuse myself from items 12, 13, and 14.
All right. So that means you're going home early.
That's right.
Oh, all right. See you guys next door.
Is that yours, John?
Yeah. Thank you all for coming. If you want to stick around, I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but we will reopen later.
I'm tired.
You need both.
I thought I was gonna go home and mow. I was gonna be, I had no idea.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Did you give some break? Okay. I will. And he told me, he said, we can get the money. We got the money, we get more money. Don't worry about it. Where'd you get that? I had a great call with him. Did you go? Yes, you go to develop. Think about the games. Yeah. A lot of that. Huge and something.
It's all yours.
All right. Wait for everybody. Get everything ready. Amy's the important one. Amy, you ready? All right. We will reconvene the regular session of the council at 7:24. Thank you guys for hanging out. We have just finished item 12. We are now on item 13. Consider an ordinance adopting budget amendment number 1 to the City of Belton fiscal year 2023 annual budget in the amount of $2,237,000 for the purchase of 51.341 acres located at 849 Elm Grove Spur. All right. You just we've already discussed this item, so we would normally, I guess, we probably need to have some. Cynthia, do you want to just, I guess, technically, we've all talked, but for the sake of the council, if you could just let us know about this.
Brief overview.
Yeah, just a brief.
Okay, so EDC has 51 acres under contract on Elm Grove Spur. And this was again illustrates for you what property we have available in the business park and a need for a larger tract of land. So the 51-acre tract is what we secured. We have that under contract. We've done a whole range of property evaluation and due diligence on this parcel. The contract is with Kale Joe Properties, and we've negotiated that contract at $2.36 million. The contract will expire on May 13th. And so just going through the exercise to determine if we're going to move forward with the purchase of property. And we had the property appraised, and it appraised at 2.3 million. And so the board on May 2nd approved a budget amendment to move forward with the purchase of property. And so BEDC is requesting that budget amendment. Again, just a quick overview on our due diligence. The property does not have sewer on site, but we think that a grinder pump would suffice. There is water available by Armstrong Water Supply, but we would have to work with the city of Belton for fire protection. Zoning is pending, and the topo, we've done some review of the topo. We've worked with the city on right-of-way dedication and perimeter street contributions estimated at $496,000. Also, I mentioned the appraisal at 2.36 million. I think that is our overview of the property. Again, it was just to address the opportunity to secure a site that we currently do not own for prospect development. Happy to answer any questions you may have on the site.
Thanks, Cynthia.
Thanks, Cynthia.
Any
Yeah, I just had, not really a question, but a couple of my concerns were sewer, the CCM for water concerns me. But then also development of Capital Way and the infrastructure costs to develop the property for light industrial use. I'm concerned about those.
Okay.
And the total cost of that project then to try to promote that to a light industrial prospect.
All right.
other comments, discussion? If no other comments or discussion, the chair will entertain a motion. That's quiet.
That is for lack of interest.
All right, so there not being a motion to approve, this item dies for lack of a motion. So,
Thank you.
okay. All right, so. All right, that's item 13. Item 14 is consider a zoning change from agricultural to single family SF1 residential district to light industrial on approximately 51.341 acres located at 849 Elm Grove Spur at the southeast intersection of Elm Grove Spur and Capitol Way. All right, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you.
All right, so this property, you've heard this before, it is located off of Capitol Way at the southeast intersection of Capitol Way and M Grove Spur. Here's a zoomed in look. As you can see, it's undeveloped. Property at the northern half is zone single family 1 from a zoning change last year. And the rest of the property is zoned agricultural. The surrounding properties are agricultural, rural Bell County area, and to the west of the property are commercial uses, light industrial, commercial 1, commercial highway, commercial 2. The future land use map identifies this general area for low density residential. However, there are nearby light industrial uses that would also be complemented by the zoning change for this property. If this is approved, the future land use map, we recommend that it be amended to show this as a light industrial zoning and the remainder of the property as low density residential. All right, so feel like you guys already know this. BEDC is under contract for purchase of this property for light industrial development. The Foxwood Ranch preliminary plat was approved in May of 2022 for the development of residential lots. There were, I believe, 22 lots. There were several challenges associated with developing this lot. And therefore the applicant decided to sell the property. The zoning change would allow for the use of industrial type development at this location. The lot exceeds the minimum requirement for the light industrial development. Water, this is actually in the Armstrong Water CCN. However, there are nearby city of Belton development for fire lines to be installed in this area for fire protection. Wastewater, this site, again, there's a study being done right now to see if there is capacity to handle wastewater in this area, but the applicant would have the option to install sewer or on-site sewage facility, depending on the results of that study. For development of the street, there is dedication required for Elm Grove Road. There's also dedication and improvements required for Capitol Way and future Shanklin and future Mesquite Road. There is an amendment that is proposed for Mesquite Road. Since it's so close to Shanklin, apologize. Since it's close to future proposed Shanklin, there is an amendment that we're proposing to eliminate the eastern part of Mesquite, east of Capitol Way. There was a lot of drainage questions asked about this property, so just wanted to show what we had on file for drainage. Most of that will drain, there's some that drains to the east, most of it will drain to the land passes. There's a little bit of puddling at the north. Notices were provided to property owners within 200 feet of the property, received 1 letter of support. And at the last city council meeting, there were 2 neighbors that spoke about drainage concerns in the area. The Planning and Zoning Commission heard this item at their meeting in April and have recommended approval for the zoning change. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you very much. Any questions on the zoning?
No, with the recent changes, or I just think we should delay this or postpone this. I think that would be best for all, but not take action on rezoning at this point in time. So maybe delay that till the June 27th possibly would be enough time. Further stuff.
Is that a motion to postpone action?
It is a motion to
I'll
postpone
second.
action until June
Okay.
27th.
I'll second that.
All right, motion second. Any other discussion about this?
Just a quick comment, or should I
Yep,
wait till the
yep, nope,
passing?
nope.
I just wanted to say that the drainage is a big concern to all of us, and I just wanted to say that we've heard and that's an important item as we move forward. Appreciate the input we've received on that particular concern. And with that, I second the motion.
Okay, any other comments or questions? All right, all those in favor of postponing till June 27th, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes unanimously, so that will be postponed. That ends our evening, and thanks for those who've been here since 4:00. Wish Dan the best. So, all right, we stand adjourned.
Great job, buddy.